Apple Studio Display has been out for almost 2 years at this point, and I only just got mine. So this isn't the full review, but I'm gonna tell you why I actually bought one in 2024 and my first impressions. Just so you know where I'm coming from with this, I've been using a 34-inch Dell Ultrawide for almost the past 8 years, and I use a 27-inch 1440p ISO CG2700S at work. The Studio Display got a lot of shit when it first came out for being overpriced. But a lot of reviewers actually seem to have changed their mind after using it for a while. So anyway, here's why I bought it. I'm not gonna lie, a very big part of it was just the design. I think it is beautiful, and the build quality on this is outstanding. You cannot compare this to any other monitor. Well, except Apple's Pro Display XDR, but you know. Next up, I just wanted something higher resolution for once. I've been using 1440p panels for forever, and yeah, for those of you that know macOS doesn't play too well with 4K, or rather with the wrong pixel density, and 27 inches at 4K is the wrong pixel density. So this was really the only option in a way. And honestly, the 5K on this is gorgeous. I don't even really care about the rest of the specs anymore, just looking at the image from this. Yes, the black levels aren't that good, but at least there's no backlight bleed, so it's a very uniform panel. So I mostly color grade things for web use at work, right? I mean, most of the photos I take, yes, some get printed, but most of it is all for online. And the ISO I have at work is actually more expensive than this. It's only 1440p, and I found myself a lot just dragging whatever I'm grading over to my MacBook, because that's what people look at this stuff at, and they do look different, right? So I just think it's more beneficial for me to have a monitor that's actually closer to what an iPhone looks like, which this is. Also gotta say that while my ISO monitor on paper has more contrast than this, because of the glossy panel, it actually looks like this has more contrast, which is super interesting. I really gotta say though, for me the most convincing thing was actually the 5K resolution. No matter how hard I try, I cannot see a pixel on this thing, which is incredible. Even on a 27-inch 4K screen, you can see pixels. This is insane. The clarity on this is unbelievable. So do I regret buying this? Absolutely not. I honestly just think it was kind of cool to hate on it when it came out, because that's what everyone was doing. But having it myself here, and I've also compared it to my LG OLED TV that I have right there. And yes, the OLED has way better black levels, obviously. More contrast. It does look a bit nicer. And while I do wish this had local dimming and, you know, a lot of dimming zones, it still looks really impressive in its own way. Something about the high resolution and the clarity of this thing just looks incredible. And I mean, realistically, how often are you gonna side-by-side compare it while an LG OLED demo video is playing, right? It is also more than color accurate enough for basically everyone except those coloring pros that Apple's trying to target with their Pro Display XDR. You're probably not one of those though, so color-wise, it is super good. So that, plus honestly just the way this thing looks on my desk, and the fact that I'm planning on having this for probably as long as I have my old monitor. So to me the price is kind of justified, right? It seems worth it to me personally. Anyway, I also gotta admit right now I'm still a bit in awe by how good 5K looks on this, because I've never had an iMac. So I've used iMacs, but I never had one myself. And I'm still just blown away by how incredible the resolution on this is. Let's see what happens as soon as the honeymoon phase with this thing is over. I'm gonna come back to it in a couple months, see how I like it then, and if I still think it's worth it. But I gotta say, I don't know why I got so much hate. Oh, and also the speakers on this, surprisingly good. Now, obviously they don't sound anywhere near as good as my Audio Engine A2 Plus speakers here, but for a monitor, they are the best speakers I've ever heard in a monitor. Usually I want to immediately stop whatever is playing, but this, usable.